Hello and welcome to the demonstration of the SENTiVENT sentiment annotation project. Today we will show you the annotation interface and we will run you through some example annotations. We assume you have read the guidelines and are familiar with the definitions. Reading the guidelines will help you understanding what is going on here. You can follow along with this tutorial at the demonstration project on the website. So open Chrome browser and go to webanno.lt3.ugen.be. You will be greeted by the WebAnno login page, so enter the username and password we have provided you and click the login button. Then you will be greeted by the home page. And you will only have one option here, and that is the giant annotation button in the middle. And of note is in the top right corner, after you're done annotating, you can log out of your session using the logout button here. Clicking the annotation button will bring you to the open document screen. On the left side of the open document screen, the left column here contains the title of the project you will be working on. For the purposes of this tutorial, the title ends in demo. The full project will have a different title. In the right column, you can select the file, the document, the title of the document you want to work on. Black documents are ones you have not opened yet, and blue documents, the title of the document will be blue if you have opened it yet. So select the document you want to work on. We're just going to work on the first one here and click open. This will bring you to the annotation screen where you will be spending most of your time working. There are three main parts that make up the annotation interface. You have the top navigation panel here. In the middle you have the annotation panel with the text and the annotations you have made in the text. And to the side here you have the side panel, which you can use to edit a selected annotation. There are a bunch of buttons in the top bar here in the navigation bar, but you will only be using three, and that is the open document button to open a specific document, and the previous and next document button when you are finished with that document to navigate to the next one. You can ignore export button, the settings button, the whole page section here, as the whole document will be displayed in one page, which you can scroll through. You can ignore the script button here. The guidelines button here will bring you to an interface where you can download the guidelines PDF file. The reset button here is something you should be careful of clicking because it will delete all your annotations, so don't click that unless you have made a lot of mistakes. And the finish button you should click when you have revised your document, because it will lock down the work and save the document basically, so you cannot change it anymore. So only do that after you have revised the full document and all the annotations you have made. So let's start annotating the document. I'm going to follow the workflow diagram in the guidelines. I suggest you print it out and keep it near you because it is really handy and it will provide you guidance when annotating, so you can follow along with the steps. So I have it open here in a different tab so I can show you. We can start annotating the project now. The first step in annotating the project, as shown in the workflow diagram here, is reading the whole article and making sure you understand it. If you don't understand it, you can use search engines to improve your understanding of some terms, or you can ask the supervisor. If you have read it once, you can go on to the second step, and that is determining the sentiment expressions and their properties on each sentence. So let's start with the first sentence. I still can't believe Juno Therapeutics spent $64.4 million on this failed drug. So this is the document title, the article title. We do annotate those. And as you can see, there are already some existing annotations in there. We have a gray event annotation with the entity annotations in green attached to it. The first step is to select each event annotation and determine its polarity. So we will go and do that. To select an event, you double click its annotation bubble here in the annotation panel. So double click, and then you can see it opens up its properties in the side panel on the right side. Let's just say we wanted to select another annotation. The easiest way to do that is to click the clear button here, and then we can clear our selection. So that's what that does. The delete button will permanently delete that annotation. So do not touch that one. We're gonna clear and select it again. Then we are gonna determine the sentiment polarity of this event represented by spend and its entities. So how is it represented? It isn't presented as being something good. It's being presented as something negative, that Juno Therapeutics spent that much money on a failed drug. So we are gonna select negative polarity. And because this is the only event in this sentence, we are done with that second step here. And now we can deselect by pressing clear this event. And now we can go on annotating the new sentiment expressions, as explained in the next step here. So first we have to make sure that our annotation layer here in the top right corner is on one sentiment, is on the sentiment expression layer. Sometimes when we select an event or an entity, the layer will change to whatever we have selected. So it changed to event here. We have to then, if we want to make a new annotation of another type, sentiment annotation for instance, we have to clear that and then reselect it in the drop down menu in the top right here. So that's something you have to keep in mind. If we don't do that and we are on a selected annotation and we want to change it, then we will change that annotation to that type, and we don't want to do that. So it will bring up this are you sure dialog. So don't do that. Just clear it, select sentiment, and now we can start annotating new sentiment expressions. So to annotate the new sentiment expressions following the workflow, we should choose the smallest amount of words as possible that express an opinion or an event or a situation that can affect an investor's opinion. So it's important that we select the smallest amount of words. That's something I wanted to highlight here. So the first step we should take in the annotation interface is like read the sentence again. So I still can't believe Juno Therapeutics spent 4.6 million on this failed drug. Right off the bat we have I still can't believe, so that has a lot of emotion and disbelief associated with it. So we are going to annotate that as a sentiment expression by clicking and dragging across the words. To end the selection, you just have to be in the word. You don't have to select the whole word exactly, and that will create an annotation on the word on the words we have clicked and dragged across. So here I selected I still can't believe, because that is the essence of that emotion or that sentiment expression. And now we have created a new red sentiment annotation. And there is another one in this sentence, and that is failed drug, because that also has an emotional connotation there. So we will select that too. So after we have decided the targets of this sentiment expression, we can continue on with determining its uncertainty. So it's not uncertain, it's not negated. And then lastly, we determine its polarity. So failed drug, that's obviously not good for a biomedical company to have a drug that is failed. So that is again negative polarity. And now we are done with this sentiment expression, and we click the clear button to let it go. And we can go on to the second sentence and start the process all over again.